Hello, everyone. We are live.
Hello, Papa here. Thank you, Awantika. It's good to be back. Um, we are really excited to host this session again, once every 2 weeks. Thank you so much to Refact for enabling us to come together and build, cool apps using the coding agent infrastructure. Um, a few weeks ago, we did a sports app,
Yes.
sort of about press ups and pull ups and stuff like that. And then
Mm-hmm.
2 weeks ago, we did a different one, which was about running. Um,
Mm-hmm.
and so last week or 2 weeks ago, we then started to build a music one. And the
Mm-hmm.
last session was basically just all about debugging. Um,
Mm-hmm.
and so I'm hoping that we'll have a chance to continue building on that. Um, and every one of these, I sort of share these different hackathons that are going on, um, and I
Yes.
and I submit whatever we're building to them in the hope that. So I think I'd shared this one on Zeta Chain
Mm-hmm.
previously, and so after we built uh, the running one, I kept working on it a little bit and ended up submitting it, um, and it won. It won a prize. Let's see if we've got the announcement. So Zeta Chain is this sort of Web3 blockchain. It was sponsored
Mm-hmm.
by Google as well,
Yeah.
and so the idea was to integrate Google Gemini into the app. You can go and play around with it here, um, and essentially enable users. This time, I'm in Kenya at the moment, and so you can come in here and play around. What we can do is we can actually test the AI integration and see if it's working. And and so we built this during that last session, and the idea is that users can come in, run around, claim territories. So if you load this up on your phone and you do some runs, and then sort of set up their realms, set up their kingdoms, and thereafter you can kind of have these ghost runners that defend your kingdom. You can do these challenges, it'll track your stats, um, etc., etc. Okay, I'm not sure why that's not.
Yeah. It's kind of really cool to see like what we build on the live stream. It's just thing we just do kind of a vibe coding. It's actually standing out like a project in good hackathon. So it's kind of really cool. Like even I saw what we build and everything. So it's really cool. And so I've already dropped the link of your submission for hackathon in the chat. So if somebody wants to see the submission and everything, you can read the blog post. And even Papa, we can also share the link of your GitHub repository or something in case
Yeah.
somebody wants to create a new version or like an open source version from your project itself. That would be really cool.
Yeah, I mean, I'll put it here just so it's
Yeah.
on the live stream. Run
Yes.
run realm,
Mm-hmm.
and so you can go back and actually watch the videos of how we started this. If you go through the YouTube, and I think we've sort of cloned a few different repos to begin with, and then
Mm-hmm.
decided on one that we wanted to kind of um, push ahead with. And I've got all these commits since then to try and get it to this stage. And it's not ready yet. I'd say there's still some work I need to do with it, but they were sufficiently happy with the proof of concept that. So yeah, this was my submission in the end, um, and they seemed to like it. So I think they gave me $3,000 or something, um, which is pretty
Yeah.
cool.
So it's great. Like you purchase like a $20 subscription and you got a, a great grand amount of price. for your submission. So that's really cool. So what's up for this week? What are we planning to have today?
Okay, so I'm I'm really keen to. I think I'd
Mm-hmm.
mentioned historically that I'm a musician,
Mm-hmm.
and last week I was a little bit embarrassed, to be honest, because I thought, like with the running one, we'd kind of
Mm-hmm.
easily be able to get something
Mm-hmm.
up and running quite quickly.
Yeah.
But I'd never really built on Rust before,
Mm-hmm.
and it's so interesting because I've got this a relatively old computer. I should get a new one. It's fine, but Rust takes up a lot of space. It was a bit slow, um, and um, and so I kind of only really got it up and running after the stream. Um, and so I thought we kind of continue from where we left off,
Mm-hmm.
and try to take it from this position where it's basically the repo that we cloned, and then start to try and build some cool features above and beyond just the template that the initial person who built this built. So I've just come back into the project. I literally haven't looked at it since we since we finished that session, and did a little just so we can kind of have some continuity.
Mm-hmm.
And so the original repo is this thing called term music, and it's yeah. So the idea here is to try and get it up and running. I can't even remember because I did a big cleanup of my computer just to make some space. So let's see what Refact is saying around running a build and see errors, then cargo build.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. And you know what? I am going to, as much as I love
Mm-hmm.
GPT-5, I'm a much bigger fan of GPT of Claude. I
Yeah,
like
me
Claude.
too.
But what I'll do is I'll save this. Where's that chat? Oops. Okay. Hi, Claude. Let's
Uh,
get this.
I guess you need
Huh?
to share your screen. We can't see your screen.
Oh, oh, you can't see my screen. Okay, okay. Sorry, sorry. Can you see my screen
Mhm.
now?
Yes, yes.
I thought you could see my screen the whole time. Sorry.
Oh,
Um,
it's okay. It's okay. I actually shared the link of this blog in the chat, so
okay.
it's okay.
Cool. 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 So here's the sort of hackathon. There's a link to
Mm-hmm.
see the and there's the old YouTube from when we started it off. Is if you look in the Discord or ask Awantika, you can find it. Okay, so we're going to focus on our current, and we'll start from where we left off, which is here. So here's Refact, which you can get in the extensions um, in VS Code, which is the IDE that we're using. Um, Make sure you check to make that is this one nicely reviewed, and we've got the terminal up and running. So let's talk to Claude and see how to get this going. And we actually had started building two.
I
Um,
think we just lost your screen again.
oh, why is my screen playing around? Back.
Yes.
Okay. Okay. So here we go. You can see VS Code.
Yes, perfectly.
Okay. So Claude here, our integration with Refact is assessing what is on my computer, seeing what dependencies we've got. And because we started working on this previously, It's actually quite well set up already in terms of having cargo installed. And I'm starting to get the hang of Rust actually, just learning through building. I saw this really great visual, which was kind of indicating that, something we all know to be true. Uh, and actually, my nephew was around last night, and if you tell him that the fire is dangerous, he won't. He'll still run towards it. And it's only through learning by doing that you actually the lessons sink in. Um, and I think one of those lessons for me has been building with a vision for trying to keep the code base really modular, clean, dry, i.e., don't repeat yourself, DRY, um, and organized. And so, actually, one of the prompts I'll do once this is up and running is probably just ask Claude to do a quick review for that because it really helps with the maintainability and scalability of the code base. Um, and so here, what I really liked about this GitHub repo, and we can take a look at it here. Uh, term music GitHub terminal. Let's see if it pops up. Yeah,
I'm sorry. I guess I can't still see your screen.
gosh, for some reason it keeps
Yes.
booting me, but my face is staying right. It's just the screen.
Yes, yes.
Mm, uh, yeah. Okay. Okay. Well, just keep letting me know if it pops off, I guess.
Okay,
Or
okay.
I could try logging in, but I would disappear for a second. Um, anyway, here we go. So we're on a Mac. It's building. It's exploring. It's a Rust workspace with four components: lib, playback server, TUI, um, and we've got Rust 1.87 exceeds the minimum requirements. Confirm the plan. Okay. Exact steps. Does this align with your vision? Proceed with getting the basic build. Yes, that sounds good.
We still,
And
I am not sure why is it happening like this.
oh, it keeps dropping, huh?
Yes, yes.
Okay, I'm just going to drop off for 1 second. I'm going to log in
Yep.
from a different browser, and it might be
Okay.
ad block or something else. So just give me 1 second.
Okay. All right. Okay, till then, Papa is joining us. You guys can let us know from where you're joining from. Maybe let me see some of the comments. Hi, Revant. Hi, POV. POV says, if you guys are making money with AI, so can I? Yes, anybody can. Um, I want to know people who are watching this stream. They can just drop an emoji in the chat and let us know from where they are joining. Okay. I can't still hear you. Nope, you're on mute.
Um, Gosh.
Okay, till then, let's have some conversation over the chat. Do let us know from where you're joining. Drop some emojis. Also let me know, like, is it day? Is it morning for you? Also, let me know what project are you currently building with Refact, or what just makes Refact exciting for you?
Hello,
Yes, it's much better.
you can hear me?
Yes.
Okay, okay. Technical difficulties. We love some good technical difficulties. Um, it's never straightforward, but it's as long as we're trending in the right direction, that is helpful. So you can see my screen, you can hear me. Let's keep building. Um, okay, so here we are, building away with our little terminal music project, um, and really sort of picking up where we left off from last week. I think what had happened is this person's um, oh, they did actually have a downloadable, but um, we're not going to make our downloadable. We're going to try and shift it so that it's just a web app, and so that's an interesting challenge for us to try and take on. Um, and once it's building locally, then we'll be good to go. Um, what's really cool, um, and actually, brilliant about the Refact experience, but is this kind of staged inputs that you can draft and really be iterative in your approach to how you explore unlocking a project. Um, and so, I tend to agree with a lot of these suggestions. And but I love the fact that you can actually um, just keep an eye on the suggested steps and and suggest alterations where necessary. And so here we are, at the cusp of getting this back up and running. Um, and so let's see what this builder had envisioned from the beginning. As time goes by, online service providers control pretty much everything we listen to. Complicated copyright issues make things worse. Um, if my favorite song cannot be found on a list on a website, I'll probably just not listen to them for years. You can download from YouTube, NetEase, Migu, and Kogu for free. I don't even know what those are. Um, I met serious problems during development. The main problem is data race conditions. So we wrote the player in Rust and hope to solve the problem. Okay. Supports a variety of files, um, and requires both a back end and a front end. Um, okay. Let's test the server. Okay, this is positive. So we had some builds that are timing out. Um, the compilation is very resource intensive. Okay. Both binaries are working. Good. The installation directory doesn't exist. Let me create it and install. Okay, thank you. Um, now let me verify the installation. Great. And now let me test if the installed version works. Okay, brilliant. Let me add the binary directory to the path for easier access. Okay. So this is all the kind of foundational groundwork. To be honest, we'd actually finished this last week, but I'd run into a bit of a space issue, and it turns out that Rust takes up a lot of space on your computer. And so until this session, I decided just to clear it out. But we've now got a clean run, basically from where we left off, to get it up and running locally. Okay, we're now installing optional dependencies for full functionality. Do we need them? For now, let's just get it up and running before we do the optional dependencies, please. Kindly share the commands I should use in terminal to do so. Okay, let's try this. Term music is ready for use. Okay, let's try that. Whoa. Okay, so allow. Oh
We
wow,
lost.
cool. You lost? You lost me?
Yeah, your screen.
Ah, okay. Isn't that weird? This is the first week where it's been doing this.
Yes.
And I can't because I think the internet connection seems fine. Um, I wonder what does this do? This is for the screen. Okay, we'll keep going. So we are actually able to get it up and running. What I'll do is I'll start a new terminal here. No, we'll do this. New window. Open it up. Let it get loading. And so, for those who aren't super familiar, the terminal is essentially another way of accessing the files on your desktop. And so, it directly correlates with, so I can go directly from here into my developer folder, which is almost exactly similar to going here. And so it just gives you a different way to access your files. And so what it's suggesting here is
I'm
we
sorry
can.
to interrupt, but we can't see your screen. There's some issue with your screen share, I guess. This stream.
Mm, okay, what I'll try. Um, gosh, I don't know if it's the browser then. I thought it was the browser. It doesn't seem to be. Um,
Yeah.
let's see if there's anything in the settings. Um, hotkeys. Gosh, I don't think it's anything here. Um, interesting. Have you ever had this before happen?
No, I guess we were perfectly fine. Did you change your device, your browser, or something like which we were using last stream?
No.
Maybe.
Same. I think
Mm,
maybe the only difference is that
mhm.
I might have I've got like a few browsers open um, that are quite
Yeah,
busy. So
that could
maybe
be.
that's causing an issue. Um, um,
That could be, but it shouldn't be that. Um, I think so. It should work in all the browsers, but still, no idea. We can see your
okay.
terminal. Everything is fine, but yeah, okay. I see them
So
comment in the middle like we lost your screen, and then you can share your screen again. That's the only way we can work.
yeah, we'll have to debug. We'll send some notes to StreamYard. Maybe they push an update that's doing this. Um, who knows? Okay, so the app is up and running locally, right? So this is what we were struggling to get to last week, and we've got there now. And so it seems like what it's done is it's actually jumped into my iTunes, which doesn't have much in there, um, and and it kind of has a bunch of cool stuff that we can access here. And so the idea from this point is now to start playing around and sharing the idea that we developed. I think we'd put the idea into Claude, um, and I can't remember what the specific. I think so. The main premise of the idea was with music to do different versions. Okay, so it's not there, meaning it's in Brave, and to basically in a musician's journey. So, like, let's say I just released. an album on Spotify, iTunes, etc. We've released like 5 albums, and what's cool is that for every song that we've created, we might collaborate with a bunch of people from around the world, and you send different concepts and ideas, and then put them together into like version 1, version 2, and actually what ends up on the cutting board is sometimes really good stuff that you just don't get a chance. Oh gosh, you don't get a chance to really share with, and so the all right, fine, I'm not finding it from previous, so we'll just write it again. um okay, okay, great, that is now up and running and looks really cool. um could you share what the app is supposed to do before I suggest the ways in which we are going to iterate and carry it forward? I'm not sure exactly what we're looking at, but it's got some cool features. Tamil-based music and podcast player written in Rust. Here what it's designed to do: play local music files, right? Keyboard navigation, no mouse needed. Okay, that's cool. Scans and organizes your music for. Oh, great. Um, and then album cover display, audio controls. Okay, really, really cool. Um, the idea is that you listen to music freely. Okay, okay, that's great. Um, I am looking to turn it into a web app. Um, um, is that feasible? um, my idea was to enable users to um, tap into different versions of a released song, e.g., draft, um, uh, or remixes or alternative endings, etc., and build community around that. E.g., comments, voting, um, feedback, etc. Um, how feasible is it to make amendments and improvements in that direction? Kindly assess and share your review from a oops, product design perspective. No need to make code changes just yet whilst we are planning. Okay. Um, I like. Oh yeah, here we go. Actually, quite. Here's my product design assessment. Strong foundation. Rust backend is perfect for web services. Server component. Okay. Audio processing timeline is robust. Multiple backend support. Great. Um, real gap in the music is ecosystem. Artists release multiple versions. Fans have no centralized place to discover and compare versions. No community feedback loop for artists on different
We lost
versions.
your
Streaming flat.
screen.
Okay, thank you for the update. Let's fix that immediately. And and I wonder, are you going to try and splice these together so that we miss all the lost screen moments? Or is that just a happy part of the rough and tumble vibe coding and hacking?
Yeah, yeah. I guess both looks fine. Like I can remove these, and I can just cut them, the screen share part
Okay.
every time. Yeah.
Okay, so here we are. We've got Claude sharing via Refact this really useful assessment that we can actually turn this into a sort of version explorer. And what I find so funny is it always shares these like, okay, it's going to take you 3 to 4 months to do this, and then it's going to take 3 to 4, and usually it's like, all right, you can do it in half an hour if you know, and that's the power of these coding agents. It would usually have taken you these really huge teams of specialized skills to deliver on a concept like this. Whereas now we've got access to all of that in one fell swoop. Um, and so this is really exciting. Okay, so GitHub for
We
music
again lost the
versions.
screen.
Oh my goodness. I feel like I,
I
I
just hope
have
it's okay if I keep, saying this, but you know, at least we can
Mhm.
have some time for the screen share. No.
Uh-huh. Yeah. We'll have lots of FaceTime at least, you know.
Yeah.
I'm glad I put my makeup on today, yeah. Okay, so so here we go. Here's the feedback that the previous developer had, and this is probably why they gave up, right? And they actually gave up only this year. So I wonder if some of they had access even to Refact to try and overcome some of these issues. That sounds cool. The previous developer stopped um, uh, progressing the project due to the following issues. Will they hamper our ability to get our app into uh, prod if we proceed? Um, so the previous developer was saying Cobalt shut down their API, and term music no longer works. Wow. Um, so, mhm, okay. It's because so okay. Previously, it was just a terminal project, meaning that they couldn't proceed because there was a free YouTube extraction aspect. Um, there was YouTube proxy services. Okay. So this was yeah. Okay, I see. This was the problem. So actually, our pivot is really useful for with this foundation and this architecture. Um, the old model was to download YouTube and streaming services. This new model is for user generated versions and uploads, and then community creation. Um, Okay, phase one, eliminate problematic dependencies. Okay, so we're going to basically do a big cleanup, right? And then from there, we're going to start to build towards our envisioned. Um, and actually, it's great because then we lose a lot of these red flags, which are copyright, depending on free services, etc. Um, oh, that's amazing. Uh, let's please proceed on the basis of our, okay, and I'll show you, I've got these core principles, um, which I basically copy paste. I'll share them in the chat. Core principles. Um, Enhancement first. Always prioritize enhancing existing components over creating new ones. Why do I say that? Because otherwise, sometimes, especially when the context window gets too long, um, you'll find that the coding agent just doesn't realize that it's already built a lot of the functionality you're trying to develop, and so it'll recreate the same thing until you get this like multi-headed hydra of things that it basically duplicates itself inside your project, which is really not fun to then go back and try and clean up. Aggressive consolidation, delete unnecessary code rather than deprecating. Um, Prevent bloat. So that's another instinct that some of these coding agents can sometimes have, which is to leave a bunch of random components in there, um, and and so make it really hard for you to go in and understand your code and kind of work with it. Prevent bloat. Systematically audit and consolidate before adding new features. single source of truth for all shared logic, clean, clear separation of concerns with explicit dependencies, modular, performant, and organized. I share that. You can play around with it. Actually, I can put it in the Discord while we're waiting for that. I'm sure you're all in the Discord, which is how you heard about this. If you're not, then you should get into the Refact. My Discord is crazy because I'm a crazy person. Um,
Then people
there you
shouldn't
go.
see mine. They will just get crazy. Like, I don't know, but I have more than I just lost the count of the number of Discord servers I have. I think it would be around. This is quite less. Maybe I should
Okay, good.
share. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
like, I don't know, 300, 400. I don't know. And the
Oh
crazy
my,
amount of messages which I get is insane.
really?
Um,
But
there should be
in
some.
Discord,
Mhm.
you can actually, and I do this on every server. You can go to privacy settings, and you can Refact one I haven't because I don't get that
Yeah.
many spam ones. But you
So
can.
so I did for a couple of servers, and then it's
Mm,
like, I don't have the bandwidth to go and change the settings of each of those servers. So now
yeah.
I'm thinking, how should I clean up my Discord? I wish there could be a bot or something who can just do it from my side.
Okay, that's a great problem. And you know what? When we're done with this, uh, the next project I'll research to see if it's possible to build on top of Discord. But that sounds like a really useful. That I've actually had that problem myself. I don't know what the solution is. Where if I like the thing that annoys me the most is when the noises come, and I really hate the noises. They're like ding ding ding. And so you're right. It would be cool to have a sort of universal settings. And I think for the
Yeah.
noises, this universal settings thing does actually work.
But it
So I
would
wonder.
then mute. Yeah, but it would then mute the notifications of all the servers. I might just, miss out some of my servers or something.
Yeah,
I don't know. It's like a very great tool if I can use, and people like me who are managing so many Discord servers,
yeah.
community, they can, they can have this. I'm not
Mm,
sure if it's practically possible with Discord or something, but yeah, it would be really cool to have those.
yeah, yeah. I've been thinking it'd be fun to start to build like tooling, yeah, let's say Google extensions. I just think that or even integrations into VS Code, etc., just as a
Mhm.
model for distribution.
Yes.
And for something like Discord, if you find something that's really useful to someone like you who's really managing a lot of communities and guiding us, then that's the kind of thing that can spread so quickly amongst other community managers if it's something that's actually useful, as opposed
Yeah.
to, let's say you're building like a fitness app, right? Then
Mhm.
to get to customers, I guess you've got to be really fit and start a YouTube channel or something. I don't. And so distribution is such a key aspect of the building process.
Yes.
And it was interesting. I think okay, I'll show you the one that is probably killing
I
us. Is
can't
this?
still see your screen.
Uh-huh. Okay, what I'm gonna do is close down a few of these tabs, which I think is what
Okay.
is causing.
Till then, if anybody has any questions or anything, want to put their thought, any ideas for us to take up for next stream, it's kind of welcome. I do see some of people on stream, so if they can share their ideas, their thoughts, it would be really cool.
Okay, so we're back, and what I was going to show you is this. I was writing a. Oh yeah, you can come and say hi to me here on Lens, which is a sort of decentralized social. I was writing a a post about all the
No,
different
your screen.
hackathons. Oh gosh! So I think it must be um, the fact that I've got multiple.
Yeah, could be.
Hmm. Okay, I won't open that up again. Anyway, let's see how we're doing with Refact. So um, we're making some good progress here. What it's doing is it's basically stripping out all of the obsolete YouTube code because that's not particularly relevant to what we're trying to build. Um, and what the feedback was from this. Um, I just find it such a useful prompt. Was to say, okay, let's apply your core principles to transform term music into a web app, right? I'll start by analyzing the code base to understand how we can enhance versus what needs consolidation. And I love the strategic planning phase. Is the proposed approach. Uh, so it has solid foundations but contains duplicate configuration logic. This is from the previous builder. Obsolete YouTube scraping dependencies. Yeah. Mixed concerns between client and server components. Yeah. App that works perfectly well. Yeah. And actually, having said that, I do like to. Gosh, how in the heavens do you close? I guess we can do this. I like to kill these terminals while it's building, only because. Okay, let's see. Control H. Oh, very cool. Um, escape Q. Uh, okay, let's try escape. Let's try Q. Are you sure you want to quit? Yes. Okay. Only because I sometimes find that if a project is running whilst it's trying to build, it actually slows it down a little bit. Um, and so it's not usually the case, and I'm not particularly familiar with Rust specifically, whether that is necessarily the case. But what happens is there's a hot reload functionality um, that requires the application to integrate the changes immediately, and that can slow the process down. Whereas if you actually just close the project um, and then wait for this building process to be finalized, you can then open it up and it's a cleaned up version that actually works quite well. Um, okay, and so Refact is kind of really beautifully just plowing ahead and making some great progress, um, and I love that because sometimes I think people can get a little bit annoyed that there's somewhere it just goes, and the problem with that is it can keep going in the wrong direction, and what might have been initially a slight mistake over a long period of time just becomes a bigger and bigger and bigger mistake that's really hard to go back and rectify. um, and so even as we start to make these changes, I think once we get this up and running with all of these sort of this first stage completed, we're gonna push it to GitHub just so we've got kind of some good version control and version history now that we've made some great progress. Um, and so what we can actually do as well is we can take a look. I didn't personally like it, but it was a viable alternative, which was this other one. Uh, it was called Infinitunes. Infinitunes. Okay, so what we could actually do, since that is cooking, is open it up. Let's open desktop. Nope. hmm Infinitunes. There it is. And whilst, I mean, we've got our main project, which we're making some good project progress on. Uh, hey, did it close? Did it close the one we were working on? Gosh, that was a bit of a mistake. Oops, my bad. I meant to open a new window and do that. Okay, that's fine. That's really cool as well. Okay, at the very least, we get to showcase a really interesting feature. Um, if your computer shuts down for any reason, or you do what I did and you just close it, then it actually saves your progress. So there it was, and I was worried for a second we'd have to start again, but we're halfway through. We've used a bunch of tokens. Let's see how our expenditure is going so far. Spent 2,000 out of 20,000, which is great, and we can just carry on where we left off, which is so good. So great Refact feature. And here's another one. We can work on multiple projects simultaneously. And so, as Refact kind of does this mountain of work to take this originally really performant, really good project and take it to the next level, we can take a look at this one. And we don't need to see this. Focus on Refact. Go for Claude. Luckily, that's not got anything interesting in there. Okay. And let's get this up and running locally, please. This is the other one. This is our main one. And so you can see Refact's kind of diving all around the code base, essentially taking just a kernel of an idea. I mean, I wrote a few sentences about the idea that we want to create, and Refact was able to kind of scan the whole code base and identify all the reasons that the previous developer had done a great job in terms of building a terminal-based application, and perhaps had just had a vision that was difficult to realize. Seems like you got interrupted. Feel free to break the task down into smaller steps, which is a really useful prompt when an agent, as you can see here, Refact's been working solid for the last however long without any prompting. So sometimes you just need a little nudge to get back on track and kind of break these tasks down. Because when it has little bite-sized chunks to work on, unstoppable. And what we'll do, because this chat is actually getting quite long, so the context window is getting longer, and A is getting slightly more expensive with each action, and B, it's harder for it to maintain kind of memory of what's been done earlier on. So once we get to the end of this little cycle, and to be honest with you, I should have actually, once we'd agreed on a plan, started a new chat to then execute on that plan. But I guess I was too excited and just wanted to get going. So that's fine. We'll do that as soon as this YouTube cleanup is complete. And so we're just in this sort of stage of testing to make sure that it can still build after we've removed all of those aspects, which it should be able to, and actually be a lot cleaner. And what we'll actually do, we'll also clean up the documentation so that it aligns. and we'll rename it. I'd like to rename the app versions. Let's update the docs as well as the
We
layout.
lost your screen again.
Okay, okay. I'm coming. We are back and connected, I anticipate, and screen is up and running again. I'll await to hear from Awantika. I can only imagine that we're still going because I can see that it's live. So I'll just keep plodding on, and we'll see how we're doing here. Uh, yes, that's hmm. Okay. So bun dependencies being downloaded. Um, and that's a bit of a process. What's cool is it runs these shell commands without actually cluttering up your screen. And so I'm not in incognito mode. Okay, run install. Hmm. So,
Again,
aha.
your screen.
Okay, here we go. Can you see me? And the screen? I can only assume so. So here we go. We're um, we're doing a rebrand here. Versions, the version-centric music platform. So we're systematically doing an update um, of all of the necessary. Um, so you can see here. Uh, in fact, what we can do is travel. Uh, hmm, okay. I don't know what this will break, but I'm doing it. Is this a good? Is this a good? What about versions? Is that a cool name? Don't know. Or versions. Oof, that's weird. Okay, don't know. We'll decide that at some other stage. Okay, so I just wanted to show you guys this Infinitunes, what it looked like. Um, so it's just getting the database set up. And meanwhile, um, we're rebranding this. And then we're going to basically start with this phase one, which I don't actually particularly understand. Web API extension. Let's see if we, because what I'm hoping we'll do is actually write a really good README and roadmap. Perhaps we'll start a docs, which is where we'll keep all of our documentation. I like to keep the README quite concise, and then we can reference the docs as and when required. Okay, cool. So here we go. Update the main README with versions vision. I like to keep the README concise. I have created a docs. How many lines is this? Yeah, I'll say 200. Technical docs and roadmap etc. We can then reference those docs in the README as needed. Note that the new GitHub what is the new GitHub? I don't know if we set up a GitHub. Versions, trim music. No? Okay. We set up. Did we not set one up? Maybe we didn't. Stella. No, it seems like we didn't. Okay, we'll set up a GitHub. Well, if anyone doesn't know how to set one up, this is how you do it. We'll call it versions. I don't know if I like that. Okay, for now we'll get music versions. Building community around drafts / versions of finished songs. Okay. And then you can basically follow these. Okay, cool. Well, that's working. We can oh yeah, so this Infinitunes had the requirement to have stop this API running, and so we actually have to open up one more window, but it's not a new project that we're working on. It's just a back end server that needed to be working for that to get up and running. Where is it? Mm, ah, okay. This. And it's npm. It's got a bun run dev. And once this is running, then it's the backend for Infinitunes to start to run as well. So let's just initialize. And we can check on this in the meantime. Seems my computer is starting to fast, but it's okay. Okay, seems like slowing down a little bit. Um, it might be a bit ambitious to try and work on these two simultaneously. Fast is really intensive, um, and so working with it tends to slow everything else down, which is why I had deleted stuff in the first place. That being said, we are ever ambitious, ever optimistic, um, and so you just sometimes just got to give it a little patience, a little rub for luck. I stop there before it makes new docs, just for our organization. A max of 3 docs. We can then and readme as needed. Note that I just created a new GitHub. Uh, So we need to remove remote origin and connect our local repo. Refact working away. So the idea here is to try and just keep the documentation really clear, especially as you can see from my file organization, working on a few different projects simultaneously, and so you might find that if you don't come back to a project for a while, then you really thank yourself and pat yourself on the back for keeping good docs and good notes, and that will just really give you an indicator of where you were when a project when you left a project, or you just, maybe you hit a roadblock and you were like needed to clear your head, needed to re invigorate yourself around tackling whatever that specific problem is that you're building around. And so the vision with this is to just try and keep on top of documentation, um, and that's such a worthwhile investment. And even from a hackathon perspective, or if you're looking to collaborate with others, the code base that we're building on is open source. I prefer open source. I really leverage and lean on open source projects, and so I like to try and give back to the open source community as well. And so it's really good practice to keep your docs up to date, so that if another developer decided to build on your project, much like we've taken this project and decided to build on it, then they're in a good position at the very least to consult a Refact AI, and determine whether the code base that you've iterated on, shipped, actually does align with their vision, and can prove useful in terms of making the world a better place, in whatever specific way you'd intended. And so we're kind of getting the plumbing pretty close now. Um, we've stripped the YouTube dependencies. We've got a real kind of flow going. Okay, and in the meantime, let's see how this was going. Okay, this is initialized, which is good. This was also good to go. Okay, that's the wrong chat. Where are we? I think we're just looking to do bun, run, dev. Let's see if it gets up and running. You should be able to just do it from the from terminal. So Bun is a really great package manager. There we go. We've got it running. We can paste that in here.
We can't see your screen. And
Okay.
also, I see we're kind of running ahead of time as well.
Okay. That's good news. How long have we got? How long would you say we can go on for?
Oh, we already crossed an hour.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that happens sometimes. And, they say time flies when you're having fun.
Yes, definitely.
So when do you want to finish? You know, finish in like 5 minutes.
We can just finish in couple of minutes, I guess.
Okay, okay. Well, what I'll do instead of waiting till next week to continue from where we left off, I'm actually just going to continue now, and I'll continue until I've got a version live on that people can visit. Um, and so um, you can basically see and have I'll put the GitHub repo available as well, so that you can kind of see the product of our labors. I mean, we got it live in the terminal, the version that the previous developer had really wanted to build into this system where you could easily download stuff from YouTube, have it available locally. That was their vision, right? And then we decided, hey, actually, what we want to do is create a platform where a musician or someone who, like now, there's so many great AI tools for creating music. You might have an idea for a song, and you might go in and use Suno AI, 11 Labs. What's the other one? There's like three or four of them, and come up with loads of cool versions of an idea for a song, not know which one to choose. And so this is a great platform to kind of pull them all in, and then tap into your community to get a feel for which ones resonate with people, and perhaps even get ideas from the community around specific sections, verses, instruments, etc. So that's the sort of dream, and so we're kind of slowly nudging it forward. And just like with that running app, I mean, with that running up, I think if you go back and look at the stream that we did, we kind of got it up and running locally and made a few tweaks. Had some ideas for some features that we were working on, and then I just kept building with that. Um, so, these sessions are really good just to give you an idea of the foundation, and I think just to summarize some of the aspects that I find useful, and hopefully are useful to anyone who's watching, is on the one hand, trying to keep your documentation in order, trying to keep the project organized, and leveraging Refact to really plan strategically what you're going to build, even in a language that, so I'm not particularly familiar with Rust. It's telling me that it's using make. I don't really know what make is, or but we're actually making progress with all of the primitives that underpin Rust, and so I'm excited to put my first Rust project out and see how it does. So I'd love it if you check it out when I share it in the Discord. Yeah, thanks once again for hosting, Monica.
Uh, yeah. Thank you everyone for joining in, and maybe hope to see you soon. Maybe after 2 weeks. Okay.
Sounds
All
good.
right. Bye, everyone.